2020 in the city of Schertz started out like any other ordinary year. Much like our neighbors, we rang in the new decade with a positive outlook and a clear vision of what would be accomplished throughout the year. The Tri-County Parkway Reconstruction Project was completed in February. More improvements on Main Street were scheduled to begin in the spring, and the new elevated water storage tank in southern Schertz was set to be completed in July. Our Parks Department took us under the sea for the second annual Daddy-Daughter Dance, and as we were gearing up for the third annual Moving on Main event, our plans were sidelined with what would demand much of our attention for the rest of 2020.
For the first time in our area, a case of COVID-19 turning deadly. City and county officials confirming today a woman in her 80s died yesterday.
The team of doctors advising us have determined that it would be unsafe to allow students to gather in schools for the foreseeable future.
When it first hit the pandemic, I was looking at New York City, what's happening there? How many deaths? It was just unbelievable, the number of people that were passing away. And I knew it would hit our city, and we had to start preparing.
I think it was shock, not knowing what to expect, and then very quickly looking at what did we need to change to take care of our customers and our partners and make sure that everyone stayed safe.
Initially, we just didn't know what we were dealing with. I think that was the thing. I remember very distinctly, it was a Friday afternoon about the middle of March, and we got word that things were closing down around us, and everything was happening very, very rapidly.
As the pandemic evolved and as CDC guidelines became more clear, the city had to adapt services and programs in order to safely serve our residents and the public.
Our first concern was public safety, our fire, police, and EMS folks, to make sure that they had all the equipment and the protection that they needed, because we knew they were going to continue to operate in the community, and there was not going to be any chance for us to reduce that exposure that they had. So that was the first concern. And then we wanted to make sure that our employees were also as safe as we could be. So I think around the middle to late March, we actually closed all of our buildings, and we asked many of our folks to work remotely, those that could. And a lot of our personnel were able to work remotely. And so with the combination of the buildings being closed and our personnel and the way they were working, we were able to continue with the essential services.
With the closure of many businesses and city facilities, staff had to find ways to create a new normal and continue to provide our essential services. This meant implementing more online services and doing more business via phone and email to minimize in-person contact and slow the spread of the virus. COVID-19 impacted more than just city services. Local businesses were also forced to adjust their operations in order to survive the new normal.
Again, I think COVID reinforced lessons that we all know and have learned about change management and adaptability, and then about people being the most important thing. And I think for me, that really just helped reinforce all the core values and all of the leadership values that I've always had, and just help us provide support and service to our customers in our communities.
While some businesses had to ramp up efforts to maintain service at an unprecedented level, other businesses completely shifted their focus to manufacture PPE products that were in high demand.
Caltex is a locally headquartered company here in Schertz that primarily focuses on sealants for automotive products, and they evolved their product to focus on surface sanitation and hand sanitation. And so they were able to diversify their products and sell those across the country to car dealerships, but also provide that here locally.
In the midst of all the closures and changes, one area that was not slowed by the virus was maintenance of city infrastructure, including roadway and sidewalk projects and the reconstruction of the Senior Center parking lot. With less traffic on the roads, these projects were able to move forward quickly and efficiently. The city has many projects on the horizon for 2021, including an overhaul of the comprehensive land use plan, ongoing improvements and beautification on Main Street, construction of new park trails, and the continuation of the city's street preservation and maintenance program. We have also positioned ourselves to be on the forefront of the COVID vaccine distribution, as we have put in place the necessary infrastructure and equipment to be a clinic host site. The city has hosted a few vaccine clinics and plans on continuing this effort as more vaccines become available. Regardless of the challenges we all faced, 2020 was a year when the true spirit of our community shined through in the most simple and everyday actions that our residents were taking. We saw neighbors helping frontline nurses, teachers putting on drive-by parades to give students some fun and encouragement, and first responders helping to celebrate little ones' birthdays when regular festivities were unable to take place. While 2020 has changed our vision, the city is now looking through a new lens at 2021 with a fresh perspective and a renewed sense of purpose.
Our community is stronger. This pandemic, although put a kink in our lifestyle, it did make us stronger. We are going to have new norms, whatever those will be, and we will continue to thrive as a community.